Welcome back, Media Junkies,
to our second episode today.
Now, I will start this episode by saying, yes, it is another Austin episode.
Yeah.
I have broken the rules. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. What are you going to do, kill him?
I didn't think so. So, moving on.
Yeah.
Today's episode has absolutely no small talk because we just did a double shoot. So,
We're doing a double shoot.
we're doing a double shoot.
Actually, we have 2 double shoots in a row.
Quite frankly, the very first episode we just did was quite exhausting.
It was very ADHD.
Yes.
Do double shoot this.
But don't worry, this episode's going to be calm, peaceful. We're just going to be going through,
Yes.
and basically, it's the closest we've had to a scripted episode, which we totally won't ever have.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
And definitely don't tell us if you like it in the comments or not.
Yeah, but you
Yes.
don't tell us that at all.
yes. Now, the topic for today. I gave each of you homework.
No, you didn't.
You had to choose one of the 3 categories, even though each category was picked out specifically for you, so it doesn't matter much.
Okay.
The 3 categories were film, gaming, and sound design.
Yeah.
And for those, you had to choose a few different things to summarize the history of. Now, the category, or what you had to summarize. First off, you had to come up with a very important individual that was very influential to your category in the past, or still is alive, whatever. Next, you had to come up with a brief timeline of events that are important to your
I
category.
didn't do that.
History. You can find one online. That's what I did.
I kind of just
In the third category, or the third thing you had to research, was you had to figure out where you think it's going to go in the future, what you're excited for, things like that. Now,
Okay.
to kind of chop this episode up and make it a little easier to digest here, we're going to revolve from person to person. We're going to start with the first category, and we'll take turns until we get all the way around to the end. So first off,
Oh, that's going to be exhausting for the listeners to keep track.
no, it's not like a game or anything.
I know, but it's like, okay, now we're going to movies and then games again. And then
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
What?
You gonna guess something?
Yeah, I'll start. My person that I chose that was very influential, and I think still is influential, to film and its history. Steven Spielberg. He is one of the most well-known American, American directors. Now, Steven Spielberg is known for many movies, such as Jurassic Park, the original 1993 Jurassic Park, the Indiana Jones franchise, a couple war movies such as Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, Jaws, E.T., Catch Me If You Can, and more recently, Ready Player One.
He's a lot of movies.
Yes,
Ready
he does.
Player One?
Yep, he did Ready Player One. Yeah.
Original?
The most recent Ready Player One that came out. Yeah.
I don't like other media that's about video games.
I
just
love,
don't watch that
bro,
anymore.
Ready Player
Yeah.
One is such a good movie. I don't care what anyone says.
It was actually a pretty good movie. Now, Steven Spielberg has won a total of 36 awards across his career as a director. 3 Academy Awards, 2 for those for Best Director, 2 British Academy Film Awards, 12 Emmy Awards, 9 Golden Globe Awards, 3 Directors Guild of America Awards, and 7 Producer Guild of America Awards. What that means,
He's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, he's very influential, obviously.
Yeah.
Stephen Allen Spielberg was born in Cincinnati. Ohio, on December 18th, 1946. It's very old. After Spielberg's short film Amblin was shown at the Atlanta Film Festival in 1969, I'm struggling here. Spielberg became the youngest director ever to sign a long-term deal with a major Hollywood studio. First ever to sign a long-term deal with a Hollywood studio. That's pretty crazy. Spielberg's origins go much deeper than this, however, as at the age of just 13, he won a statewide competition for his 40-minute 8mm war film titled Escape to Nowhere.
Have you watched that?
I've not. I watched part of it because it was in a documentary about him.
Oh, you watched the documentary about it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like for research for this.
No. It was, but I watched it a couple years ago. But I thought it was interesting because he's done plenty of like war films later on that have become very big.
Saving Private Ryan, I can't remember.
Yep, I said that. He did Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. What?
I have a plan tonight.
Oh, cool. Spielberg impacted the film industry not only by making some of the most iconic movies / franchises of all time, but also by hosting unique filmmaking methods such as backlighting and color technique. So he's really pioneered those kinds of techniques. Spielberg even has his own phenomenon, appropriately called the Spielberg effect, which is when someone is rejected from college but goes on to succeed despite their disappointment, as Steven Spielberg. Steven Hillenburg created SpongeBob. Steven Spielberg did it himself.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Steven.
Extra fact today.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg created. That's who I'm going with, but you
That's
know.
a lot of Steven.
But yeah, Steven Spielberg, he was rejected from college, and now he's the biggest director of. Well, one of the biggest directors.
Albert Einstein denied like something. Wasn't he like rejected from college?
I think so. Hitler was also rejected from art school.
Okay, bro.
Never brought him up.
Yeah.
But he had good art.
Yes. Okay. That is my person, Steven Spielberg. I love you. Now, who would like to go on next?
I like to go next because I have a pretty good segue here.
Gotcha.
Mine is a lot different than yours though because I'm a really like, personal guy.
Right.
So I tend to focus more on like the emotions and how this person makes me feel.
Right.
I originally said I was going to do just video game music, but this person actually isn't just video game music.
You lied to
Okay.
This person, his name is John Williams. You've probably heard of him.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, get ready because he's done the music for a lot of movies.
Okay.
Here they are: Harry Potter,
Okay.
Star Wars,
Whoa.
Jurassic Park,
Whoa.
Schindler's List,
Whoa.
and a bunch of others. But those are like
That's like the majority of the popular franchises.
So, yeah, I'm gonna look up more, but he is like you could just hum so many songs from all these
Yeah.
franchises.
Did he do the Darth Vader theme?
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, and he did the main Star Wars theme. He did
Yeah.
Let's see, John Williams movies. He's done Indiana Jones, that's
Oh.
a good Schindler's List, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Jaws,
So he's worked with Spielberg a lot.
E.T.,
Yeah. Okay.
Home Alone,
Okay. Cool.
Superman 1978,
Yeah.
Fiddler on the Roof,
Okay.
Saving Private Ryan,
Okay.
Home Alone 2,
Mm.
The Fablemans, Catch Me If You Can.
Okay. He's probably worked on every movie Spielberg's done.
I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Superman Returns, 2002. And the BFG.
The Big Friendly Giant.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool, very
That's
cool.
really
BFG.
cool. So obviously he's very influential.
Yeah.
He has been a big name in my life for a long time. I don't know if you guys know this about me. My uncle is he's a professional. He's had his doctorate in percussion.
Oh.
And I think he introduced me to John Williams. I feel like he did. I don't know why. If that's a lie, I must be a lie. But like I think in the back of my brain somewhere it's true.
You lied to us?
Yeah, well, I can't remember if I did or not, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he introduced me to at least the name John Williams. And I watched all these movies before and didn't know that he was the one behind every single one of them.
Right.
So I obviously did a bunch of research into this guy, and I really wanted to find out more about him.
Yeah.
And all I really found out was the movies today because I got ADHD after that and just stopped. But I really like John Williams' music. I'm sure you guys do too. He's super renowned. And I just think he's a really impressive guy. I think composers in general are very, very
Yes.
impressive.
Now I do have something for you, Luke. For you to maybe look up after
Yeah.
this. My favorite composer of all time, at least so far, his name is Bear McCreary.
Okay.
And he's done work for God of War. He's done the Walking Dead theme. You know.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
He's worked on a lot of like really popular shows. I think that's why I know him more.
Okay.
But his music is very good.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica.
Mhm.
That's a real show?
I guess so.
Wait, Battlestar
I thought that was like a joke for The Office.
No.
That's a real show.
Bear versus Battlestar Galactica.
I know, but wow. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Bear McCreary is very
I
talented.
have another person who's video game music related. Because that was shorter than yours.
Yeah.
My first ever video game composer that I started to love, his name was Grant Kirkhope.
Okay.
He did the music for Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle,
Okay.
which is an incredible legendary soundtrack in my opinion. Like the Mario plus Rabbids games for some reason just went crazy with their soundtracks.
Yeah.
And there did I find out that he also did the music for Banjo-Kazooie,
Wow.
which is an even better soundtrack in my opinion. And he actually kind of got me into video music. I think if I hadn't heard his music, I wouldn't start listening to it outside of the games, and then wouldn't have branched off on other things.
Yeah.
And his style is very recognizable. He used a lot of horns, very instrumental, very orchestral rather,
Yeah.
music. And those two definitely, John Williams and Grant Kirkhope are my two biggest music
Very cool.
favorites.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hunter? For gaming.
For gaming, I chose Matthew Robert Patrick,
Oh, that's why I
aka
said it.
Matt Pat, aka the Game Theorist.
Yes.
He created his channel on August 22nd, 2009, but his first Game Theory video wasn't until April 18th, 2011, titled "Game Theory is Chrono Triggers Time Travel Accurate."
Wow.
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Triggers. I don't know why he
Chrono
spaced it like
Trigger.
that. Chrono Triggers.
Trigger. Singular.
Triggers, as in like.
Oh, trigger apostrophe S.
Sorry, my bad. I forgot to add the trigger apostrophe S. For me. My bad, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And kept making game theory videos for years. And then he came up with one very good one. He didn't come up with this, actually. Somebody told him he should do this, and it made his channel very popular. FNAF.
Yes.
His FNAF theories.
Can I
No. I didn't do any of this to yours. I didn't do this to his.
True.
So
That is
you
true.
stop.
That is true.
October 23rd, 2014 was his first FNAF theory.
Yes.
Titled, same difference. Game Theory, Five Nights I'm not good at
Let's
this.
go.
Five Nights at Freddy's scariest monster is you.
That was his first FNAF theory?
Yeah.
I thought it was one about like it's a real life.
And it's also his most viewed theory video on his channel. His most viewed technically is can gamers beat this? And it's like a parkour thing, or whatever, which I don't count because it's not game theory. And the rest of his other videos that are the rest of his other videos are just mostly FNAF videos, and there's some sprinkled in there. Goodbye to the Internet, which we're getting into right now. He made this video, Goodbye Internet, on January 9th, 2024. And he didn't technically completely quit, but he basically did quit on this day. He at least kept releasing videos until I didn't put it down because
Now, did he have those videos made already?
I don't know if he had them made.
I can't remember, but I remember the day that video came out. We were all texting each other in a flurry.
All I'm saying is that he kept posting more videos, but I think he was probably one of the most influential people in gaming, especially FNAF. I
agree.
Well, obviously, I think Marky Moo was the most big guy that put out FNAF videos, but
It's kind of funny because how like Matt, Pat, and Markiplier they made FNAF popular, but FNAF also made them popular.
Yeah.
Like that was also kind of their big break.
That's
So
cool.
it's very
That's interesting. That.
yeah. But is that what you got for Matt, Pat?
yeah.
He's
All
very
right.
influential in gaming.
Yes, he is. And we're sad to see him go. R.I.P.
Well, he didn't die.
Don't say R.I.P. He's not dead.
Anyways, moving on to the next category, timelines.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm lazy, so I found one online. But yes.
Are you tired?
Yeah, they're probably all the viewers probably fell asleep by now. Now, starting with the evolution of film. July 31st of 1891, first motion picture camera invented. Thomas Edison creates the kinetograph.
Wasn't it a cheetah? Or no? What did he record with it?
What do you mean?
What was the first video recording?
First video ever recorded?
Yeah, well, I can't.
I'm not sure.
That was a good whistle.
Yeah, I'm not sure though.
They're a weekend.
But yeah, Thomas Edison creates the kinetograph. Camera that takes a sequence of pictures to create a sense of motion. Another whistle. Oh my gosh. March 22nd, 1902. First use of color in film.
I know this one.
First use of color in film was produced by Edward Raymond Turner from London, who captured colored productions of his children at his home in Hounslow. December 1. December 1st. December 1.
I make that joke ironically so much.
December 1st, 1903. First narrative film. It's called The Great Train Robbery. It is a Western. And it is the first film to have a consecutive story. Now,
Cool, this is interesting.
that being said, the film was 10 minutes long. But it was the first ever film to have an actual story.
Yeah, so all the other films before that were just like recordings.
Just recording stuff, right?
No, the first film to have color was The Wizard of Oz, right?
That's what I've heard. I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. I'm something about there. Have you seen Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
I love
Who
it.
hasn't seen The Wizard of Oz?
It also, I love The Wizard of Oz is the way they show how color's been developed for going to the new world and it all becomes color. It's cool.
It's really, really. Imagine seeing that in the theater.
That movie also kind of creeps me out, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, yeah, I think it's very like if it didn't have that going for it, it wouldn't be as popular.
Yeah, it's kind of the old movies like that just kind of freak me out a little bit. I don't know
Like
why.
the humanoid like animals and stuff.
No. Moving on. April 7th of 1906, the first animated film. It was titled Humorous Phases of Funny Phases, created by cartoonist J. Stuart Blackton. Yeah, that guy.
I love that guy.
Hunter's showing me something.
It's the big bold letters word. Visit to the Seaside in 1908 was the first movie to have color.
Oh.
First film.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Pilot was his family.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
December 26th of 1906, first feature film, multi-reel, first feature film. The Story of the Kelly Gang, another Western, was the first to use more than one reel, being a total of 6 reels long. The film was at the time the longest film at roughly 1 hour long.
That's cool. Westerns are very influential in film.
Yeah, they are.
Your whole interest starts to sync together.
I know, right? First film with dialogue was made in October 20th of 1927.
Now, when you say dialogue, you mean actual spoken word, or like when they have the words appear?
Let me see here. Well, not the first. So it did not include music or sound effects. Spoken word.
So
not the first film. It didn't have any music or sound effects, but it did have spoken word. So that's interesting.
I was not interrupting you, but it's interesting.
Yeah. July 29th of 1928. First animated film with sound, which I'm sure everybody is very familiar with. Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
1928.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Something like that,
yeah.
April 10th, 1953. First color 3D film.
It was my birthday.
The House of Wax, produced by Warner Bros., the first 3D film. Also one of the first horror films to be shot in color.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. I want to watch that now.
Yeah. November 22nd of 1995. First full-featured computer-generated imagery film, which I'm sure nobody's ever heard of. Toy Story.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's why I pointed at you.
Created solely by computer-generated imagery. Obviously, would go on to make many more movies like this. December 10th of 2009, the last on my timeline here. First full performance capture film. It was Avatar, created by James Cameron, to fully capture the human body and put CGI over it.
The good Avatar that blew people.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is great.
I meant the live action.
Oh, yeah.
The first one was bad.
True. I did some research in this House of Wax. I was listening to what you were saying. The House of Wax, it's like older, obviously. Like the posters really say like 3 dimensions. Like whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, man.
It says straight at you. The hand is at your throat. Oh. 3D animation's crazy. And then they remade it in 2005, and it has like a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes.
They really tooted their own horn with this movie. I'm looking at the picture that's on the timeline, and it says, the most astounding motion picture since motion pictures began. Warner Bros. Amazing feature picture in natural vision 3 dimension.
That's back when they could put anything.
Yeah.
Wait, what movie was this?
House of Wax. First ever 3D movie.
Before we watched Lord of the Rings.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, that's my timeline of the history of film.
Nice.
Yep.
Wait, so that's a 3D and that's not animated, was it? House of Wax?
No, it was just the first.
Oh, like you put it on the glass.
Right. Yeah. First. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, my turn.
Which
It's
turn?
video game
First
music.
turn.
Pong.
Yes.
So again, this is gonna be very casual, not as intense as that one was.
That's fine.
But as for, because this is gonna be specifically more for video game music because I don't really know much about
Music in
sound
general.
design and
Yeah.
music. Outside of that, but I do love music as a whole. I just am more passionate about video game music, I guess.
Mm.
So I've talked about this before, but you know, like the original like people outside are very distracting.
I know.
I apologize.
She said, "Okay,
Yeah.
it's okay."
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, like so, think of like Pac-Man is one of the first games I think that had like a soundtrack.
Mhm.
Pong didn't have any music in it. And Pac-Man's soundtrack is pretty iconic, if you
Mhm.
remember, but it only really had music on the title screen, and then when you play it, it would just be like the
Right.
that's the they didn't really care about music that much. And then the NES came out,
Mm.
and so the NES only has 5 sound channels, 4 of which were only ever actually really used.
Mm.
So that means you can only have 4 sounds for music going at once.
Right.
And so you might notice when you get some older NES games, if you jump on like an enemy or do something that makes another voice happen, then music will get a little bit less complex for a
Mhm.
second. That's because you're using one of the sound channels to make the noise.
Right.
Pretty interesting stuff.
Cool.
But that's when video game music was a lot more designed to be catchy and memorable, like Mario theme, obviously,
Yeah.
when that song. And it worked, and people really liked that, and it was fun, you know, for the time. Then I think this is more of an opinion, I guess. When the SNES came out, I think they started taking it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
And they started making music, and they were like, we can actually make this interesting,
Mhm.
you know? So they had composers come into the scene and had some people kind of work it out and figure out how to make this music sound very, very good.
Mm.
And there are some really, really good SNES soundtracks out there that I forgot how many sound channels the SNES has.
Mm.
Hold on, I'm looking at it real quick. I'm trying to fill the space with my voice that sounds like I'm actually talking. It's only 8 audio channels in the SNES, which was more,
Okay.
obviously.
Mhm.
So the music was more complex. And then eventually, we skip ahead a little bit, N64, and then they could have like more, like a lot more complex music, obviously.
Mhm.
And eventually, by we get to the Wii, they have full orchestrated soundtracks with such as Super Mario Galaxy, which is a great soundtrack.
Mm.
And people start taking video game music a lot more seriously than I think.
Yeah.
And something they could take it more seriously because some of these soundtracks have so much work and thought put into them
Mhm.
that it's undeniable how genius a lot of them are.
Right.
And that's pretty much up to date.
Do you have a soundtrack in mind that would go with that statement?
Mario Galaxy, definitely.
Mario Galaxy. Okay.
That's just the first one, something beautiful, I guess.
Mm.
But soundtracks that are like, you know, like obviously I want to say like Undertale because that's like, but that's not for everyone's cup of tea. That's 8-bit,
Right.
and that doesn't have the same limitations that as the NES had, but it's still not everyone's, you know,
Right.
not everyone's gonna like that soundtrack.
Yeah.
But there are soundtracks that are like that. Like I've listened to some of.
Red Dead Redemption. God of War.
No, yeah, God of War.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to much of it, but I listened to a little bit of it.
Whoa,
Right, yeah.
That was Bear McCree.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that until today, but
Yeah.
yeah, that is cool. So yeah, video game soundtracks deserve respect. You guys should respect them.
No, I hate them all.
If you don't have if you say you don't like video game music and you don't have a reason and you're being irrational and you need to
Yes.
figure out why you don't like it and then tell me so I can change your mind.
Yes.
And now it's my turn.
It's my turn.
One
now.
third, your timeline of
Listen to
gaming.
me. For gaming, the first gaming console ever released was the Magnavox Odyssey. Very weird name to say. I think you guys know. It's
No.
It's MAGNAVOX.
Imagine it in my head. 'cause I'm
Odyssey.
gonna show you.
I'll probably send you a picture of it so you
Okay.
can probably
Not me,
look it
though.
up.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I sent it to the group chat. Anyways, it was released in 1972, which I'm pretty sure the only game that was loaded onto it was Pong,
Oh.
Mm.
which would make the most sense because where else are you going to play Pong on?
Yeah. Pong
yeah,
at your home.
Pong in real life.
Yeah.
Well, I think ping pong is actually the inspiration between,
Yeah, probably.
which would make the most sense to me. And if it isn't, then I have God knows what else it could be based
Yeah.
off of. And it basically started everything. The first ever console to ever be released, and then probably the next biggest one. I think it's the next one to be released. I don't think it's the next one to be released, but it's one of the biggest ones. The Atari 2006,
Yeah.
which
They're not released in 2006.
did not. Wait, did I say 2006?
Yes.
2,600. My bad.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know why I said 2006. My brain was not. And it was released
It
5 years.
was in
It was released
2020.
5 years after. So, 1977,
Mm.
which made gaming even more like big.
Yeah, that was
big.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, the first Nintendo console was released in 1985, called the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Or
The
NES.
NES for I was about to say that, Luke. NES for short.
Mm-hmm.
The first PlayStation was released on December 3rd, 1994, and the first Xbox ever released was on November 15th, 2001, which makes Nintendo the oldest of the big three consoles.
Yeah.
And still shows to
And
this
it's
day.
Definitely,
Yes,
it
it
definitely
does.
still shows.
Oh, it does.
And I'm not counting PC in this because I said
Yeah.
3, and
Yeah.
PC is you kind of needed computers to
Yeah.
exist for these to exist at the same
Yeah.
time. So.
And Xbox and
Good point,
PlayStation Xbox and PlayStation had a very mature war where they were kind to each other.
Yeah.
They're
Yes,
very
they
kind
did.
to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it does not mean that the, as we've already stated, it does not mean that the Nintendo has had the greatest. Now, right? It's not the greatest as of right now. It's definitely very far back.
Are they paraphrasing classes?
I don't know.
But the first, which they did kind of go ahead of everyone by making the first, not the first handheld, but the first handheld of the big three, being the Game Boy in 1989, which definitely was ahead of its time for
Yeah.
especially like the Xbox and stuff like that. Even though there was the VC something, I can't remember the name of it.
R.
No, it's Micro something.
Microsoft.
No. It's not even close, bro. Just stop saying Microsoft, okay?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
I think
said it
no,
once.
I think it was called No, you did not. Microvision. I'm kidding. The Microvision. I'm pretty sure was what it was called. The first ever one.
Cool.
Wait, you mean it's Virtual Boy?
I don't think that was the first. What are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, it's that VR headset that you put on your head that makes everything look red. That Nintendo video.
Oh, I know actually what you're talking about.
I don't think that was before the.
It's actually, was that the first VR headset?
It would,
It doesn't count as VR.
Oh. Well, what
Whatever.
does
It was
what
the
does
first headset that was like a gaming thing, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
whatever. Anyways,
Yeah.
the most recent Nintendo Switch kind of proves that they're kind of far behind.
Yeah.
To 2017.
However, really good
Switch
game
2 is coming out hopefully soon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Later this year, actually, hopefully.
Yeah.
I can't wait to buy 5 of them just to sell them.
I can't wait
I'll buy one
to.
from you.
I'm
It's
actually.
cheaper.
I think I might just buy, or you can just.
Well,
do
I'm
it.
not saying I resell Switches or anything. I just,
Or you
Oh,
could just give it to me.
yeah, I've just bought so many Switches that I usually end up getting rid of.
The
I'm
problem
gonna
is
get a
that
job.
I was gonna buy a PS5, but now that the Switch 2 is coming out,
Just get a PS5.
Yeah.
Just get a PS5.
PS5, honestly.
Unless the Switch 2 is like.
I mean, think about it. The Nintendo Switch 2 comes out, and it's maybe going to have, like, 2 games that you can only play on it for a little bit. And then are you really going to want to play those games? Who
What
knows?
if I buy a PS5 and then Switch 2 is like somehow better than PS5?
That's what I'm saying, but just buy a PS5 instead. I'm just
I mean, we don't even know when the Switch 2 is coming
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Do it.
In June they're going to announce it.
Oh, they're announcing it in June.
Yeah.
It's probably still going to be another couple
Oh, that
years.
is true.
Oh yeah.
It's been 7 years since the last Nintendo announcement.
Yeah, that's. I
Usually
just
when
said
they
that.
usually when they announce it, it's at least a year. So you're saying that if you buy a PS5 right now, put all your efforts into it this summer to buy a PS5,
Yeah.
buy the whole year at least, you're not going to be able to buy a Nintendo Switch 2? Or
Yeah, I don't have a job yet.
I don't think it's
True.
gonna
I
cost.
want to get a job with me.
I think it's probably gonna cost.
at the movie theater?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. You get a.
If anything, it's gonna cost maybe $400, $500
Yeah.
maybe.
How much is the PlayStation 5 cost?
I know.
500 is how much the PlayStation 5 cost.
Plus
I know.
games.
That's
And
why
I
I
knew
said
that sentence was a disaster as it started coming out, but I didn't bother.
I'm saying it's how much
avoiding that
it
mission.
probably might cost since the
Plus
Nintendo
games
Switch.
and.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
Nintendo
that's
Switch was like
No, mature
200.
boy. I'll be able to play. It's like I'll be able to play Ace Attorney because those are on PlayStation.
300.
I'll be cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was a little tangent.
Anyways, PlayStation and Xbox are ahead of the game right now, with their consoles being released in
Seems like
2020.
more of an opinion, but it is true. What am I doing?
Whatever.
This? Like, these thoughts are in my head, and then it's just like
Austin
pop out of my
goes.
mouth.
I guess.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Keep going.
It's my bad.
Keep going.
I'm being an idiot.
With 2 consoles being released there, for Xbox and 1 console being released for PlayStation. 2 days before Xbox. It was either. I don't even remember. I'm looking at it, but I can't even remember if I did this correctly.
What about?
For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future.
Peace out, media junkies. Peace out, media junkies. Peace out, media junkies.